Hey there, I'm Autumn Works, and in this video I'm going to show you how to play the Charlie Christian guitar solo from the tune I Found a New Baby. Alright, so the very first shape that we're going to be thinking of is this triad shape here for this solo, and it's a D minor triad. Okay, and we're going to play our ring finger on the 12th fret of the D, our first finger on the 10th fret of both the G and B strings, D, F, A, D minor. And the reason why is because the very first chord is a D minor. Okay, then it goes into an A7 in the next measure, back to D minor, and then D7, because that takes us to a G7, C7, or C9, F, right, and then A7, that leads us back into that progression again. So it makes sense that we start off the solo from this little position here of the D minor. Our very first note is, however, a G. So we're going to slide into the 12th fret of the G string, so G, F, G, F, A, and then D, F, G, A, F, F. I appreciate you putting up with my singing, but that's that first little idea there, okay? We're now going to be playing this idea over the G7, so we're going to go from this F and do a chromatic walk down into a B, which is the third scale degree of G7, right? G, B, D, F. Okay. Now we're going to play a D minor again, and the reason why that works over this G7 is this is a common Charlie Christian trick, right? Where whenever you get a dominant chord, you go to the 5th scale degree of that dominant chord and you play a minor triad. So if we start with G, G, A, B, C, D, okay, and make it minor, D minor, that works over the G7. Okay? So we're playing this B, our D minor triad, to this E, and then doing a chromatic walk down to the D. Alright, and now at this part, we're thinking over C9 or C7. Okay, so what's the minor 5 chord over C7? Well, let's count. C, D, E, F, G minor. Okay, so here we go. We have a little G minor triad here. D, B flat, G. Okay, so my first finger's on the 10th fret of the E, my middle finger's on the 11th fret of the B, and my ring finger's on the 12th fret of the G string. Okay, so that's that idea, and I'm going to play it from the start of the G7. Okay, and now we're going to think over the F chord. So I'm going to go here to the 12th fret G. Okay, so this is G, B flat, A, F, and then D, D flat, C, F, C. That's over that F. Now, over the A7, okay, this is another dominant chord. We got to think of the minor 5 chord, so A, B, C, D, E minor, okay? So if this is D minor, if I move it up a whole step, that becomes E minor, right? So I can actually borrow that G7 idea and just move it up a whole step. And that's what he does in the solo. So he starts here on the 11th fret of the D, and then plays an E minor triad, E, G, B, and then the pinky's here on the 14th fret, and then back to the B on the 12th fret of the B string. So, all right, so that's section A. Let's play that again. We'll play it slow. So again from the top. Here I go to G7. Here's the A7. All right. So the next section is, it repeats the same progression, but now we're going to try out some new ideas. So we're still thinking over this D minor shape, but instead of just starting on the F, we're going to go, okay? So E, F, D, and then C, B, and then we're going to go right out of that triad, D, F, A, D, F, A, and then that's like a hammer on from A to B and pull off, and then back to F. All right, so let's play that part again slowly. Again, we're all over this D minor triad. Okay, and then here we're going to go to the E, which is 9th fret of the G. Okay. So if you notice, we end up in this D minor triad shape. So here we're thinking D minor, or you could be thinking F major there, but I'm thinking D minor because D minor is the relative minor of F, okay? So I'm thinking out of this shape. Alright, so if you need to, you can go back and watch that A section again, and you can even change the settings here on the YouTube video to make it half speed or 75% so that you can really make sure you're getting every single note. We're now going to move into the B section of the song. In this B section of this song, our very first chord is an A7, alright? So how he starts that off is he plays this half diminished just arpeggio, right? Which is C sharp, G, B, and E. So he just goes. And then over this A7, I'm actually playing an A13 type of shape here. And he's playing that arpeggio, right? He's starting on the G, C sharp, E, F sharp, G. So, okay, and then it goes into a D minor. So we're going to play out of this D minor triad, which is D, F, A. Slides up to the root, D here. Now we're going to do this chromatic walk down over this G. Okay, so if you notice, I went back into my A13 shape at the end. So those chords over the B section are A7 for 2 measures, D minor for 2 measures, G7 for 2 measers, C7, and then back to A7, right? So if we're playing that from the top, A7, D minor. Now I'm going to go to G7, C7, A7. All right. Now we're going to finish out with one more A section. And for this, we're going to go back to this D minor shape, and we're going to go. Okay, so that's D, E, F, B, A, D, E, F. And then we're going to start with our first finger on the E here and slide into the F, which is the 10th fret of the G. B on the B string. A on the B string. Okay, now we're going to be thinking over this C7, so we're going to start here on the C. So that's a chromatic walk down. Now we're over the F, right? And then A7's our last chord, so we're going to play. So we're going to play this A Mixolydian scale over this last A7. We end on the D and we just slide off. And that's the whole solo. Awesome, well that wraps up today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up or leave me a comment. You can also find the tabs and music for this solo on my Patreon. So please consider becoming a Patreon to support my channel so that you can get access to that content and other cool videos that I make exclusive for my Patreons. If you like Charlie Christian, you should check out the playlist that I've made here on my channel, where I go through every tune from the Genius of the Electric Guitar album, and I break down every Charlie Christian guitar solo from each tune. So definitely check that out. And as always, happy practicing, and I'll see y'all next time.